Hello! Hi! And welcome back to Flowers. Hey, quick note before you jump into this episode is that if you're looking at the episode number and you see that there's a .2 there and you haven't actually seen the true ending yet, which was episode 20, then you want to go back and watch that first because we actually did that last time. I'm just uploading this on the same day. So if you didn't get a chance to see what actually happened and why we are now looking at just this absolutely gorgeous title screen and this amazing rendition of Rainbow Magic, then you need to go back and you need to pick that up first because that, trust me, there's a lot happening, big feelings, but this is a supplementary video where we're choosing to make poor Yuzuriha's life worse on purpose. We are going to dig through all of the bad endings. So that's all it's going to be in this video. It's just the bad endings, and you get all 4 of them by messing up during the investigation portions. So let's go ahead and just dive in. So it's time to unravel what we know step by step. First, a girl injured her hand on a pair of dressmaking shears. The victim, Tsubaki-kun, was attacked. That's right. Arranging the puzzle pieces like this, we can start to see the whole picture. Next up is the question of why the dress was ripped. Let's deduce the reason from the information we have so far. Why was the dress torn? Because she was startled by the very real shapeshifter. Something doesn't seem right. There's something that doesn't sit right with me about the motive. And rather than thinking it over again, I'm just gonna present this awful conclusion to everybody like a gigantic pinhead. Although it doesn't sit right with me, all I can do is play the hand I've got. I'm not gonna rethink it or anything. I set out to meet the girl who knows the truth. No true man will neglect his duty for the sake of love. A line spoken by the gardener in TikTok of Oz runs through my mind. My present to my best friend and the incident involving the shapeshifter of the dorms. I'd wanted to pursue both, but hearing said friend's concerned voice as I head over to my desk, I glance her way but keep walking. I respond with a sardonic smile. However, Nettie's honey-colored eyebrows knit together as though she's aware I'm lying. Like she's talking to a small child, she tells me I shouldn't blame myself. The theory I had come up with, I had clumsily laid it out before her, and then, unable to see the truth I had been presented with, my own actions had been equally misguided. Not wanting her to see the regret on my face, I stare into the dazzling rays of the setting sun now streaming in through the window and let out a long sigh. Love the bad endings in Flowers because it's usually just, man, I feel like poop. I did a thing and now I feel like poop. Gosh darn. Life goes on, but now I feel like poop. All right. So some mild disappointment, but we're still alive at least. Now it's time to try and pin down the origin of the wandering Wendigo of the woods. I have concluded that a person is behind the incident and their actions just happen to line up with one of the 7 mysteries. So, if I scrutinize the information I've gleaned so far, the culprit should be revealed. There are 2 main pieces to the puzzle, one identified by Suokun and one that I discovered. The first piece is, we got us a white sack! Shout outs to white sacks! The second piece is, we got a white sack, and it's so big you could put a person in that sack. Something still niggles at me about this conclusion I've arrived at. It's like when you're doing one of those spot the difference puzzles, but you found 9 differences when there are only supposed to be 8. Again, don't think I could stop and scrutinize this further. It's a conclusion I've reached after advice from the underclassman who needs me. I get up from my bed and set out to see her. Dun, 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 dun. She asked me what's wrong, adding that it doesn't look like I'm totally on board today. Like a server! Surf's up, dude! Hang 10! Yeah, well, at least I'm not a board. Unlike Ichigo Sasaki, ha-boom! Yeah, she's got me there. Nettie announces to the rest of the choir club that we'll take a 10-minute break, then turns back to me. She stares intently into my face, like she's searching for some kind of sign. I mean, you're already, it's fine. Now that she's broached the topic I've been trying so hard to avoid, I find myself at a loss for how to respond. Nettie lays a hand on my shoulder. No, it's not. After she's coaxed a smile from me, she goes off to talk about Hanabishi-kun. To talk with Hanabishi-kun. I feel like I betrayed my underclassmen's expectations. For some reason, like with Neri, I'm desperate to prove myself reliable in her eyes. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? I sigh as I gaze up at the figure of Christ on the cross. I missed my opportunity. All right. So that's 2 down. I'm not looking to reveal the real culprit behind the werewolf of the bell tower incident. My goal is to prove Nerine Kamikado's innocence. See, this is the one that I feel could have some real ugly, fallout if you mess it up. There are 2 pieces of evidence I found with Suokun and the others that I can point to in order to prove she wasn't at the scene. The first, Nettie was in the dorms when Ringo was assailed, and I know that because what's the basis for thinking she was in the dorms? Her amitié partner told me. And the second, the proof that Nettie didn't go to the chapel is what proves Nerine Kamikado wasn't at the chapel. Her partner's testimony. I'll make Nettie admit that it was impossible for her to have committed the crime to which she confessed and pick a new perpetrator to pin it on, so everyone comes out as unscathed as possible. Something's not quite right. Still, things have already been set in motion. I can't stand around here. I set off toward Iznik, where everyone's waiting. I won't have any quarreling in the land of Oz, I can tell you. Everybody lives in peace here and loves everybody else. I can't help but think of Dorothy's words from Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Not because I've been reading said book during the breaks between classes, but because I've been sneaking glances at Nettie, whose demeanor during class appears unchanged. The reasoning I showcased in front of Sister Basquiat and the Sister of Nikaya landed spectacularly far off the mark. I was unable to prove Narine Komikado's innocence. Following her long suspension, she was abruptly tossed back into the classroom with no support. While there was no official announcement by the faculty that it was because she assaulted Ringo, her long absence was enough to draw a clear boundary between around her in the eyes of our classmates. I repeat the words in my heart. The book meant so much to me in my childhood, but now the words I loved so much are being bleached, made empty and meaningless. Gazing up at the similarly blanched winter sky, I release a small but heavy sigh. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. She's kind of just going to be ostracized for the rest of her high school career. She's probably just going to drop out. Like, I just get the feeling that she's just going to bail. Yeah, pretty devastating there. I kind of figured that one would be the one with the most consequences. I thought that she would just kind of get bounced out of school, honestly. Alright. The culprit I revealed in Iznik was my own fabrication. Similarly, there's a real culprit out there who fabricated the werewolf story. They didn't assail Ringo, but they did make use of the 7 mysteries. I realized the truth when it occurred to me that the footprints in front of the chapel were a red herring. So how did the footprints lead me to work out the real culprit? What made me realize the footprints were a red herring? There was no need to erase the footprints in the first place. The evidence leads me to believe that the person who made up the werewolf in the bell tower was none other than... Who made up the werewolf in the bell tower? Dorm Mother Katabami! Let's get her fired. After putting together the pieces, I savor the taste of my coffee on my tongue. After putting together the pieces in my head, I reveal the name of the culprit, their motive, and how they did it. As she listens, Yagaki-kun's expression turns dubious. Suo-kun's eyes take on a sad sheen. Well, there you go. You were once again disappointing Suo. This is like the worst possible thing that you could do. Like the last person on the face of the planet you want to let down. Then she speaks up hesitantly. Oh, I don't know. She seems disappointed in more of a mad kind of way. Like, oh, I'm very upset and angry that you would be this incompetent. She asks me. Them eyebrows. Look at them eyebrows. They're knitted. She's very angry with us. In my exultation at vindicating my best friend, I got carried away. Thought we were all playing on the same page here. Oh! Going back to that whole contemptible thing, I'm glad that that word exists. Oh, she just... She's just done. Out. I thought we'd wrap this up with a joke, and that would be that, but now realizing that I've betrayed this girl who thought of me as a friend, it dawns on me that I've ruined yet another precious relation. Yeah, you know what? That's the worst one. I think that one stings the most, and it's not just because you made Erica mad. It's just like, God, like in the moment, you had a chance to just be honest with people, you know, and there's no reason to lie here. There's no reason to cover for anybody, and you choose to do the absolute worst possible thing. Yeah, that one sucked. That was horrible. That didn't feel great at all. All right. They're going to awaken to true love. It's great. Again, what a great title screen. Just fantastic. All right. So that, I believe... Look at this. I'm actually clicking on the right things this time around. All right. So we've got true end. And we got all 4 bad ends. So we have 3 more endings to go. So the next time we're together, we're just going to blast through the game and we're going to choose all the options that give us, that make the lily indicator light up yellow. And that'll probably give us a different ending. It'll give us, it'll probably give us a few new scenes as well. So I expect that one to be about as long as like a normal part of this series kind of goes. I'd figure like hour and a half maybe, but yeah, that's the bad endings, and they live up to their name. It's bad. So yeah, go us for making Yuzuriha's life worse. Thank you so much for stopping by. As always, appreciate you spending time. I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever you are, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.